Well, hello, Graybeards. Welcome to another edition or episode of Drive Time. My name's Wayne, coming to you from the 2008 Dodge Caliber. A couple things I was going to talk to you guys about was vehicle prices and the engines they're putting in full-size trucks, if you will. But one thing, I watched a video the other day talking about people that are upside down basically in their vehicles that they bought, say, a couple years ago or even last year, because apparently vehicle prices are going down, so that does affect their value of used vehicles, because they paid so much for them. I saw where some manufacturers, their vehicles lost like 28% in value. And we all know that once you drive a vehicle off a lot, you lose. It used to be you would lose $1,000 or more dollars in value as soon as you drove it out, signed that dotted line, and drove it home. Because dealerships are in business to make money, I get that. And that's a whole nother story about the whole buying experience. But I don't understand, I typically keep vehicles for quite a long time. I'm fortunate that I can a lot of times repair or fix things myself. Like this weekend, I just put new rear struts and hubs on this car in the back. Did it need it? Could I went longer without replacing them? Sure. But it needed them, and I put them in. Did I buy the top of the line parts? Probably not. I think I spent around $200 for the parts total, and it took me probably I'd say a couple hours to do. The first, I never done it on this vehicle before, so it was a little more involved figuring out how to take panels off and how, make sure I had the right tools. And obviously the other side took me less time because I knew how to do it. It was just opposite side. But I don't understand why people would be upset. I can understand. I don't get why they get upset. They pay for these overpriced vehicles, and then they want to get rid of them in a couple years. I get it. Situation changes, needs change. Changes that would prompt someone to buy a different vehicle or get a different vehicle. And I understand when people go, I want one with the warranty because I can't afford to pay the price to have them repaired. And I don't quite buy that, to be honest with you. I know it's expensive to repair stuff. I repair stuff all the time. Now, if I went somewhere to have done what I did on this vehicle, took it to somewhere, it'd probably be thousands of dollars. Just in parts would have probably been 3 to 4 times more than what I paid for them. And then you're paying, some shops are $120, some are $150 minimum shop rate per hour of work. So like I said, it took me probably a good 3 hours, and I was taking my time. I wasn't just in 3 hours, if I charged $150 an hour to do the work, simple math, $450 just in labor. And that's, then you got the parts involved, and it adds up quick. So why do people get rid of their vehicles so soon? I don't know. It's hard to say. Again, their needs change, or they just want something different, or they can't afford the payment. But then they're upside down and they can't get another vehicle because they cost so much. It's one of those Chinese finger puzzle kind of things. You're stuck, The other thing I wanted to talk about, and I want to get, y'all's opinion on anything I talk about on the show, please feel free to comment. Give me your opinion, your experiences. I just want to hear it, and I'll reply. I try to reply to everybody that comments. Whether it helps the algorithm, whatever, it doesn't really matter to me. The other thing I want to talk about, so this prompted me because a couple of friends of mine just purchased two vehicles. One was a Ford Ranger, and the other one was a Chevy Silverado pickup truck. Now, both of these vehicles have the 4-cylinder turbo engines. They're putting out probably excess of, or close to, if not excess of 300 horsepower. I don't know what the torque is on them. It's an inline engine, so it's probably pretty good torque. But I just don't think it's right. Now, the Ford Ranger it's not the Ford Ranger that I grew up with. They're a lot bigger. They're more of a mid-sized truck like the Colorado, what is that, a Toyota Tacoma or something like that. The Nissan Frontier, whatever. And those size ranges. Used to be a Dodge Dakota was really the first mid-sized truck, I believe. But the small pickup trucks don't exist really anymore. Anyways, back on topic. The Ford Ranger, I like the looks of the vehicle. I'm just not always sold on the Ford brand. I've had them in the past, and they'll keep you busy, and they'll keep your pocket empty, just like any of the vehicles today will. But my friend bought the Silverado. He got the Turbo Max, like for those, I guess, millennials or boomers or Gen X, or feel that's the kind of names they need to put on stuff. I got a Duramax, whatever. It's a diesel engine. Well, these 4-cylinders, as good as a V8, I don't think they will. I just don't think they'll last as long as a V8 or even a V6 engine that can do this. I don't think they're going to get better gas mileage out of that 4-cylinder. They're all struggling with these 8 and 10-speed transmissions. The reliability isn't there. I don't know. I hope they don't have any problems with them. I hope they last them a really long time, and they do what they want them to do. I'm sure they will, but the person, I think both of them are now spending extra money for these extended warranties that manufacturers are offering. I think it's a good idea because a lot of people aren't handy. They're not mechanics, or they don't have the tools. I ain't saying they don't have the know-how. I think anybody, if they really put their mind to it, can fix stuff, right? They can change a tire. You just fix something. It's that simple. It's just figuring out the process and doing it. But some people just don't have the tools necessary to accomplish some tasks, and to buy the tool to do the task, you might as well. It used to be you could just pay someone that had the tools to do the job and be on your way. Got to pay to play, right? I think extended warranties are a good idea. If you do decide to get extended warranty, make sure it's by the manufacturer, not one of these fly-by-night dealership warranties or some off-brand that you got to jump through hoops to get the reimbursement or approval for service, those kind of things. I caution you to be careful and know what warranty you're buying, because you can run into problems with them when it comes time for them to pay. Let's see. Yeah, that's about it. I'm not a fan on these 4-cylinder engines. I don't think they'll last as long as the old 5.3 or even I think Ford really only really good engine that they ever produced, even so late in the 2017, 18, was the 5-liter, which was a very good engine for Ford. Do they get the fuel economy? I don't know. I don't think they would. But when you're actually going to use them for work, they're going to do just as bad as a VA. But with that said, let me know what you guys think down there. Again, I'll reiterate the comments down below. Hey, if you like what I say, if you don't like, dislike it. If you like it, like it. It doesn't really matter that much to me, although I do like to know if this is the kind of content you want to see. So I've been rambling on for almost 11 minutes. I'm going to let you guys go, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a great week, better weekend, and Memorial Day weekend coming up. Be safe out there. There's going to be a lot of people on the roads, a lot of people on the lake, so be careful out there, and have a good one. God bless.